All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the Florida Physique Report. This is episode number 73. Today is Wednesday, September 14th, 2016. And on today's show, we got the Olympia coming up this weekend out in Las Vegas. So we have a special Olympia pre-show this week on the Florida Physique Report. We're going to be talking to two Florida residents who are going to be competing in the Olympia this weekend. First is Alejandro Cambanero, who's going to be competing in the men's bodybuilding 212 division. Alejandro has a fantastic physique. He was the winner at the Puerto Rico Pro this year. And I think he's got a great shot at making the top 6 this year in the 212 division. He placed, I believe, 12th last year at his first Olympia. So he's going to do much, much better this year. So we're looking forward to talking to Alejandro in a second. We're also going to be talking to the very popular Danny Reardon. Danny, of course, will be competing in the Women's Physique Olympia. She took a really strong 4th place finish last year, and then she was 2nd at the Arnold Classic in Columbus this year. So she's going to be really one of the favorites for the title, so we're going to be talking to her. And then we're going to talk to Heather Grace. Heather is a sponsored athlete with Divine Nutrition, one of our sponsors here at Florida Physique. And she just took 2nd place last weekend in the Women's Physique division at the Rising Phoenix show, the Wings of Strength Rising Phoenix show that was held out in Phoenix, Arizona. And she took a really strong 2nd place. She feels she could have even been 1st place. So she's hoping to do really well in the Women's Physique division at the Olympia this year as well. So we're going to talk to all 3 of those athletes who are all going to the Olympia. It's going to be a great show. We got a lot of great interviews. In addition to that, we're going to go over the results from the Iron Bay Classic, which took place last weekend in Tampa on September 10th. Jose Santiago was the promoter. This was his 2nd year promoting the show, so they had a really good turnout. And then we're going to go over the results of the Precision Fit Body Contest, which took place out in West Palm Beach, Florida last weekend. And Mike Sansevero was kind enough to provide us with the pictures. And Maria Belando, of course, gave us the results of that show, so I've got the results from that. This weekend there won't be any shows in Florida, probably because of the Olympia weekend. Tony Curtis used to hold his Gainesville Classic on this weekend, but he held that about a month ago. So there are no shows in Florida this weekend. We've just got the Olympia, so I will not be going to it. But I'll be watching it, as many of you will, on the internet. I think it's going to be on Amazon.com this year. And we're going to be watching to see how all the Florida athletes do in all the various divisions. There's going to be a lot of competitors competing this year. All right, so before we get to our interviews, let's go over the results, as I said, of the Iron Bay Classic, which took place, as I said, last weekend in Tampa, Florida on September 10th. They started with the Masters Bodybuilding and the over 50 division. They had a lightweight and a heavyweight. Lightweight went to Nick Blanco, and the heavyweight division went to Jerry Nieves. And in the overall over 50, Jerry Nieves was the winner. And then the over 40, they had some really good competition, about 6 guys in the lightweight class. Sean Patrick, who has been competing in a couple shows this year, really dialed it in this time and really came in peak condition. His quads were shredded, and he took 1st place over Rich Alexander. And Richard Alexander, of course, was the big winner last week at the Lakeland Classic that Debbie Callahan promoted. But Rich took 2nd this time to Sean, who was really shredded. In the heavyweight division of the over 40, Jeff Ward was the winner, and Jeff also did well last week at the Lakeland, but he looked even better this week. I think he increased his calories, increased his carbs, came in fuller, but he looked harder. So then in the over 40, between Sean Patrick and Jeff Ward, Sean Patrick was the overall winner, and then Sean was the Masters Bodybuilding overall winner. He beat out the over 50 winner. So congratulations to Sean Patrick. He had a great night. In the novice bodybuilding, Mike Cariglialo was the winner, and Mike trains right here at the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa, so congratulations to Mike. He's been competing in a few shows this year. He finally got a 1st place, so congratulations. Moving on to the women's physique in the Masters category, Kiki McGarry was the winner there. And then in the open women's physique, that went to Jennifer Raleigh. And then in the figure division, in the figure Masters division over 40, Shelly Klimp was the winner. And the over 30, Leah Batherty was the winner there. And then in the figure open, Class A went to Tricia Helene, and Class C went to Leah Bathany. And then in the figure open, Tricia Helene was the overall winner. Then they had the open men's bodybuilding. They had some good competition there. The middleweight class went to Sean Patrick again. The light heavyweights went to Steve Epifanio, who was an over 50 competitor. And the heavyweight went to Jeff Ward. And then in the overall, Sean Patrick cleaned up. He won again the overall men's bodybuilding title. So congratulations to Sean. He did really, really well tonight. And the men's physique, the Masters division over 40 went to Richard Alexander. So Richard crossed over again from the bodybuilding to the men's physique, and he did really well in the men's physique. He won his class again. In the men's physique novice division, Torrey Carr was the winner. And then in the men's physique open, in Class A, Thomas Haydar was the winner. Class B went to Edgar Diaz, and Class C went to Zachary Jackson. And in the overall, Zachary Jackson was the overall winner. This was only his second contest. He did a natural show about a month ago. Not a really big competitor, but he came in really lean, and he's got that good-looking men's physique, the kind of physique they like in men's physique. Moving on to the classic physique division, they had a Masters division, and that went to, again, Richard Alexander. So Richard did, again, all three divisions just as he did last weekend in the Lakeland, and he took first again in the classic physique in the Masters. In the novice division, that went to Joseph Gulla, who was competing, I believe, in his first show. Joseph's only 22 years old, so he did really good. And then in the open classic physique, Class A, again, went to Joseph Gulla. Class B went to Jacob Harvey, who could have been a little bit harder, but Jacob had really good shape for this division. Real small waist, and you could tell he worked on his posing routine. He had a really good posing routine, did a lot of classic bodybuilding poses, which is what they're looking for. And then Class C went to Richard Alexander. So Richard wins both the Masters and he wins his class in the Open. But the overall classic physique this time went to Joseph Gulla, the young competitor, 22 years old, competing in his very first show. So congratulations to him. All right, moving into the bikini division. The Masters bikini over 40 went to Ty Lee. And Ty did the Florida Grand Prix earlier in the year. And she didn't do well there, but she really worked hard since that contest and came in really, really good condition here. And then the over 30 Masters bikini went to Karina Gardona. In the novice, Ty Lee wins again, and she beat out 11 competitors there. And then in the open division, Ty Lee wins Class A, Emery Johannes wins Class B, and Karina Gordano wins Class C. But the overall this time again goes to Ty Lee. So Ty Lee cleans up. She wins the Masters, the novice, and the open bikini. So congratulations to her. She really made some great improvements this year. All right, let's go over the results of the Precision Fit Body Contest, which took place out in West Palm Beach. Janice Garrido was the promoter. They started off again with the Bodybuilding Masters division. The over 40 went to Joel Perrette. And Joel also won the over 35. He was the only competitor in both divisions. Of course, he was the overall winner there. And then in the open men's bodybuilding, Joel Perrette wins the light heavyweight division, and Raul Avendano wins the heavyweight division, and Joel Perrette wins again. Joel is having an outstanding year. He's in great condition for every show he does. He's got really good conditioning, really good shape with the wide shoulders, so he is really doing well this year. They had a fitness division, and that went to Jamie Marcus, the Masters. And then in the men's physique division, the Masters men's physique over 40 went to Raul Avendano, the heavyweight winner in the bodybuilding. And the novice winner went to Jordan Polite. The open men's physique, Class A went to Brandon Collier. Class B went to Colin Robinson. And Class C went to Drew Odell. And then Colin Robinson was the overall winner. Congratulations to Colin. We've had him on the show before. We interviewed him about a year ago, so he's continuing to do well, so congratulations to him. In the figure division, the Masters figure over 40 went to Lourdes Rivera, and the over 30 went to Shirley Mitchell. And Lourdes Rivera, the over 40 winner, wins the overall. And the novice figure, that went to Ashley Joffrey. Figure went to Ashley Godfrey. And then in the open figure, Ashley Godfrey was the winner in Class A, and Karma Seraphin was the winner in Class B, with Ashley Godfrey winning the overall figure division. So congratulations to her. And then moving into the bikini division, the novice bikini went to Stephanie Lafever, and she beat out 14 competitors, so that was a big class. Teen bikini went to Madison Crone, and Madison also did really well last week at the Prestige Crystal Cup. She won her class in the Open, so she's continuing to compete and do well. The Masters Bikini, Vanessa Yuko was the winner in the over 50. Sophia Thader was the winner in the over 40. And Stephanie Lefevre was the winner in the over 30. And Stephanie, again, had a big class, beating out 10 competitors. And Stephanie Lefevre was the overall Masters Bikini winner. And then finally we go to the Open Bikini. Sophia Thader was the winner in Class A. Marina Gatica wins again. She's been doing really well this year. She wins Class B. Stephanie Lefevre wins Class C. And Jessica Von Tassel wins Class D. And you guessed it, Stephanie Lefevre wins again, wins another overall. So Stephanie wins the Open Bikini, the Masters Bikini, and the Novice Bikini. So great job for Stephanie Lefevre. Great night for her. And then finally the Classic Men's Physique. Finally, the men's classic physique division. They had a master's division. Raul Avendano, the heavyweight men's bodybuilding winner, he wins the over 40. And Drew Odell wins the over 35. And Raul Avendano wins the overall masters classic physique. And then in the open classic physique, they only had two classes. Class B went to Saul Rivera, and Class C went to Drew Odell. And Class B winner Saul Rivera was the overall winner in the classic physique division. So that is it for the results from the Precision Fit Body, and great job for all those competitors at the Iron Bay and the Precision Fit Body. All right, we're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to have our 3 interviews of the week. First, we're going to talk to Alejandro Campanero, who's going to be competing in the men's bodybuilding 212 division at the Olympia this weekend. Then we're going to talk to Danny Reardon, who's competing, of course, in the women's physique Olympia. And then we're going to talk to Grace Rivera, who's also competing in the women's physique division. We got 3 great interviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the Florida Physique Report. Divine Nutrition Products believes in supplying the consumer with the highest quality products available. Their natural isolate line of protein is comprised of whey protein isolate made from grass-fed protein, featuring brand new flavors like vanilla peanut butter and pound cake. Divine Nutrition Products is the preferred supplement of rising IFBB Pro Figure champion Sydney Gillen, winner of the 2016 Miami Beach Muscle Pro.
Hey, this is Sydney Gillen, IFBB Figure Pro champion. I love Divine Nutrition products, especially the pound cake as soon as I get that one. But my favorite right now is vanilla peanut butter. It's so delicious.
Visit us at DivineNutritionProducts.com. All right, welcome back to the Florida Physique Report. And my guest this week is Alejandro Campanero, and he is getting ready for the Olympia in only a few more days. How you doing?
Hey, doing good. A pleasure to be here.
All right, thanks for joining us, Alex. Well, I really like your physique, Alex. I think you really got a great physique. Very aesthetic, sort of like the old school type of bodybuilder. And I know a lot of other people really like the way your look is. So let's talk a little bit about your career, like how you got into lifting and what made you decide to start competing in bodybuilding. What age did you start training for weights?
Okay. First of all, thank you, man. I appreciate that you guys appreciate my body and the work that I put on it. I started late. I started lifting about 23 years old.
Okay.
And like 30 years old, about 34, I decided to compete. And the reason I was motivated to be a trainer, like a kind of coach, that was my motivation, but I never believed that I can actually compete or be on a stage.
Yeah.
And when Ronnie Conan had those camps, Maggie, my wife, get me on one of the camps, and we met Ronnie's brother. And one of the days, he saw me without a shirt, and he was like, "No, you have to compete.
Yeah.
You can win." And he actually pushed me a lot to do an Alex Coleman, and I decided to do in the Ronnie Coleman Classic, in Texas.
Okay.
That was my first show.
Were you guys living in Texas at the time?
No, Miami.
Okay.
We live in Miami, and but I thought it was a really good challenge to go not here in Miami.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable going somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Hostile environment and all this stuff. It may sounds funny, but yeah, I like it,
Yeah.
and I can prove it later on. We can talk about it. And so we went to Texas and do the Ronnie Coleman show.
Okay. What year was that, Alejandro?
Excuse me.
What year was that?
2010.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that time, then you were already training for over 10 years, right?
Yep.
When you did your first show. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you met Maggie, was she competing? What?
No.
No. Okay.
It took me about a year to convince her just to join at the gym.
Okay. Gotcha.
Once she got it, she became pro first than I. She won her show
really?
first.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened after that first show then? What other shows did you do after that to get your pro card?
Well, that show wasn't good, actually. I was really motivated, and my head was really big. And I was told that was the next big thing.
Okay.
You know, Maggie's so loyal. She told the same thing. And we went to that show, and I was thinking I was a light heavyweight. I not even made the light heavyweight. I made the middleweight novice.
Okay.
There was like about 38 guys, and I placed 34.
Wow, no kidding. Unbelievable.
So imagine they put me in the ground and made me understand that you're not the next big thing.
Right. So that must have motivated you, huh?
No, it was bad. But the thing is that it happens many times in my short career. I promise going next year and doing better and actually win. And the next competition that I did was the Diana Cadu show.
Okay.
After that, and I cried really bad in that competition. So I pushed myself, and I went to the Diana Cadu show, and I won the overall.
Okay.
The very next year, I came back to the Texas, and I placed second in the light heavyweight.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I started my pursuit for the pro card.
Okay. So you got your pro card at the North America, right?
Yes. I did 3 national shows that I placed 9, 8, and 7.
Okay.
Actually, I met Bill Wilman and told me not to do anything else and take my year and, just get ready to go and really push for a win.
Yeah.
Not try many shows, right? So Bill doesn't want me to change. That's another thing that why I keep my symmetry and stuff. He told me, take a year so you can do it slowly and better the quality. I don't care about the weight. We don't gain a lot of weight. And we went to the North Americans and we won and placed second the overall. Akeem Williams was the first place.
Okay. So when you did your first show, what was it a matter of? What did you have to do to improve? Was it just slowly adding muscle mass each year and just building on your already basic shape?
Well, yeah. Well, first of all, first thing I got humble, and that was a big difference because when you humble, you learn, you listen, and you work hard, and you don't underestimate the other guys' work. So you kind of like get very insecure what other people do, that you think that they work really hard and you're trying to work harder than you can, right? 110%. So that was the difference. I started to listen. I started paying attention to my changes, not thinking that I look good. I get very insecure actually, and that make me, always work to get better and better. And so that doubtful make me, think that I have to improve something. And of course, I have to improve something, but you got it clear in your mind.
Yeah. So when you started your pro career, you decided to do the 212 division. And how did that
Yeah.
go right at the beginning when you started competing in the 212?
We went to the to Tampa.
Okay.
That was our first show. Went to with Bill.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't really good. I didn't place in that show. Um, Reasons, you're a rookie, and I got overwhelming and nervous, and I see everything that's bigger than I really was.
Yeah.
But again, it happened the same thing as the Ronnie Coleman show. I promised to, work better. I have the experience to be in a pro show already and see those guys that you only see in magazines and stuff. So it's kind of like, okay, they're real, they exist. They're kind of like nervous as me. I noticed they were nervous to see me. And I'm like, why? Okay, I'm going back next year. And I play second the next year.
Okay.
Al Agusti won, and yeah, I always look for redemption. And a week late, 2 weeks later, actually, I played second in Tampa. And 2 weeks later was the Texas Pro, and I won that show with against Adam Clark.
Yeah. Yeah, that's when I remember seeing you first in the magazines or on the internet at least. And I remember seeing your physique at the Tampa show and then winning that other show. So that's when I really noticed your physique, and you got a really impressive physique, like I said, because you got that really tiny waist, but great full muscle bellies and great size and shape everywhere else,
Thank you.
So now going into this year, you took first again, right, at the Toronto show?
Yes, we get ready right after the Olympia. We took about 2 weeks. I started with George Farr, and so George kind of like managed more on what show. Not that he shows what I'm gonna do, but he kind of managed and told me, okay, this is good for you and stuff. And I was about to do in the Miami show, which is a local show.
You're right.
And he told me that we need more time, that maybe we can do good on that show, but not going to change my physique for the Olympia. He was thinking about Olympia already,
Okay.
So we choose Puerto Rico, and we won in Puerto Rico.
Right.
Course, but was having a really nice breakfast, and George ruined it. So, so we went to Toronto, and everything come out really good. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't talk about the Olympia last year, Alejandro. What happened with that? You got 12th place, right? So how did that experience go? That was your first Olympia, right?
Yes. That was my first Olympia. It was again, it's an overwhelming experience.
Yeah.
You see things, so you got freeze, and you don't know what to expect. And you see the guys probably even better than what they look, and you see everything bigger than probably they are they big.
Yeah, right.
You're not used to it. So but everything, I think I did really, really good. The guys that were, I beat guys that are very good level, and they were winners in the pro shows. So I was, super happy. I'm like no words to describe. I was at 12. That was a win for me, and that was, and I say it, on the bottom of my heart, and it was a win.
Yeah, you're competing with the best of the best at that stage, right?
Yeah. I'm super happy. A good experience. Everything was like, I don't have any bad experience in the entire, trip.
Yeah, yeah.
It's cool.
Now, what is your weight, Alejandro, when you compete?
The Olympia, the waiting at Olympia, I remember I went with my jacket and my shoes,
Uh-huh.
my pants, even my ear, headphones and everything, and I weighed 203.
203. Okay. So you still
So,
got some more weight to gain if you wanted to, right? To make
oh
that
yeah,
leap.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
have I have about 7 pounds
Okay.
into 212.
Yeah.
That space I have to like to grow. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
no, I'm good. And about the Olympia, actually, I remembered all the names that that beat me on
Uh-huh.
that Olympia because I have that. I make mental notes all the time, and I play that game, so I kind of remembered. So when I was talking with George, um, we actually would wait until we see, the list
Yeah.
of the competitors.
Right.
And my wife was playing the game. My wife is she's my other side, and then she was like, "Okay, here, this one, he beat you on Olympia. He's competing. This one beat you on Olympia. He's competing." So we kind of like were hunting Olympia competitors,
Right. Right.
and kind of like beat all of them. Beside, the top six
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and I'm not even competing on those shows, but
Right.
and oh, yeah, I was looking for them.
Now, what will your weight be this year? Do you think? Have you gained size since last year?
Yeah, I went about 4 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like 4 to 5 pounds of you're gonna notice on my legs, and then my back is a lot fuller,
Uh-huh.
thicker. Um, because the lines and all stuff was good, but it would need more thickness, and that
Yeah.
was something that we're looking for. Then we actually, you see on social media and stuff that I was posting, I was very proud of what I achieved, and yeah, I put so much thickness in my back,
Mm-hmm.
and my shoulders, something that I worked better this year to last year. I would have a kind of like pain in my shoulders, so I
Uh-huh.
didn't work hard,
Okay.
and that affected me on my chest and my shoulders. Now I'm healthy, and I work my shoulder and my chest are they coming more fuller, and bigger and fuller.
Right.
But especially my the hamstring, glutes, and back, and the back, everything in the rear side is complete change. I think
Yeah.
more better than Puerto Rico and Toronto for sure.
Okay. Great. Yeah, I would think even though you still have like another 8 pounds to go or whatever, you still want to put it on slowly because you want to keep that great shape that you have and the small waist and everything because that's your strong point.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, my back it looks bigger, but I don't change a lot on my waist.
Yeah.
Actually, I haven't changed nothing on my waist. It's just leaner, maybe.
Wow.
You
Great.
know, torn on my abs. Yeah, but no, we take care of it, and we don't do crazy stuff to change my waist
Right.
for any reason.
Now, what do you think of this classic physique? Did you ever think about switching over to that, or you gonna stay with the 212?
No. I think I'm at 212,
Okay.
and say if I have a gap of 8 pounds, and at 8 pounds now, last year was about um, 10 or 11 pounds,
Yeah.
and I played 12 at Olympia. I think I can do better this year.
Yeah.
I'm confident that I can do it. And so, and putting those pounds, which is, I see it's 8 pounds.
Yeah.
It's a quality. I have the time,
Right.
and I think I can do much better than the 212, which I like better. I
Yeah.
had a lot of respect for the other classes, but that's what I like. Yeah, I like to do the most muscular and stuff.
Right. Right. Plus, if you went to classic, you'd probably have to lose weight, right? You'd probably have to lose muscle.
Yeah, and it's been really hard to gain those,
Yeah.
those
Right.
pounds,
You don't want to
especially
lose it now, right? Exactly.
yeah, especially for me. And so, no, I don't want to lose any muscle or anything like that.
Right. Right. Well, I think you look fantastic, and with the improvements you've made this year, we're really looking forward to seeing how you do at the Olympia this year. I think you're going to do really well, and it seems like you're on the right track, to working your way up the ladder, and maybe you'll get that Olympia one day.
Appreciate. Thank you very much. Yeah. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, we work for it. We're going for it.
Yeah, I'd love to see a physique like yours really place high because, like I said, you got that old school, classic type of aesthetic physique, and I think that's what the sport needs more of,
Yeah, I'm fan of classic physique. The form, the small waist, the B type.
Yeah.
That's it's not a coincidence that I building that
Right.
my body that way. And I've been working on it, and the way that I pose, and you see my posing routine, or even my posing. That's
Yeah.
it's my personality kind of.
Right. All right, well, Alejandro, well, thank you very much for joining us. I know you're in the middle of your prep and you're going to be leaving in a few days, so I appreciate you taking a few minutes out to talk to us at Florida Physique. And we wish you all the best of luck, and I really hope you do really well at the Olympia. I think you're going to do great.
No, appreciate you invite me. No, thank you for calling me, and I always been available. Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you, buddy. Good luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
I will so. All right, thank you.
Thanks. All right, welcome back to the Florida Physique Report. My next guest is Danny Reardon, who is getting ready for her next Women's Physique Olympia, in only a couple more days. Getting ready to leave in a few days. How you feeling, Danny?
I am feeling, a bunch of different emotions. I'm really excited. We leave tomorrow.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have to do a little bit of last minute running around, and I'm still not packed yet. So I'm anxious and I'm excited, and I'm really ready to just have a good time and have a good trip. I'm feeling a lot of great energy, and that's really all I could ask for.
Yeah. Well, I've been seeing your pictures online. You look fantastic. You look like you're, ripped and ready. And I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you look better.
Oh my God! Well, thank you. Yeah, I've made a lot of improvements. I think I've matured and developed where I needed to, and I'm excited to show it off.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about your prep now, because when was your last show this year? Was it the?
My last show this year was the Arnold Classic.
Okay.
Yeah, I was awarded second there.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and this one was, that one was like kind of rushed. I had a lot to get done in a short amount of time, so, and I did. But this one I had a little bit more time to kind of preserve as much as I could and kind of go into it a little more gracefully. I've really been able to focus on training this time and the improvements that I want to make. And I think it served me well.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your prep. I know you work with AJ Sims out in Orlando out there. And so what did he focus on with your training? Let's talk about your training first, between the Arnold and now, because you had that's a pretty good amount of time from March until September.
Well, I think we mainly focused on my back and my glutes. Focused a lot on my back. A lot of energy went into that, and a lot went into my glutes as well.
Okay.
And my shoulders a little bit. I guess mainly my back is something that I really wanted to work on. It was something that I was lacking the connection with. So not necessarily just like the muscle density, but it was because of my connection, because my arms are so big. I feel like they take all the brunt of my back work. And so that's what we worked on.
So what were you doing? Were you training it like more often, like twice a week, or?
Yeah, I would train it twice a week, maybe sometimes even 3 times. I would go in the morning and do touch-ups.
Okay.
There was one point where I was doing pull-ups almost every day just because I was wanting to just put more energy into it. But yeah, so then I started training it about 2 times a week. Times. And I don't really necessarily go too heavy. I really believe in volume. So it wasn't really like, I didn't really bring heavier weights. I just did more. More time and attention, more.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned having that connection. That's a lot of people have trouble with that, especially with body parts that are really lacking, or they have a hard time growing certain body parts. A lot of it is that mind-muscle connection. And when it seems like the easier growing body parts, we have that mind-muscle connection right away. But the harder growing ones, it seems like it's harder to get that. So how did you do that? Was Was it training it more often or training it a little lighter and able to feel the muscle connection more?
Yeah, kind of both. I brought it back to the basics, and I've also been going to this not physical therapy. I would say it's more of like a holistic chiropractor, muscle therapy place, Orlando Body and Movement Therapy. And they've been working on my back, strengthening my back, stretching out my chest, and then teaching me how to activate my back. So we would do like little movements. We would do little stem movements. And then, so that was kind of an outside of the gym practice. And then inside of the gym, it really just came down to me focusing.
Yeah.
On like actually pulling with my back and rowing and doing lat pull downs and just not really lifting any differently, but just lifting better.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
So how about the diet then? How long have you been dieting for this?
I don't know. Like after I remember stepping off stage at the Arnold and being like, prep started for the Olympia. So I like to eat clean. Oh my God, it's 1:11. Sorry. I really like to eat clean, kind of all the time. And I really make my food taste good. So dieting for me and not dieting is really me just like cutting out little sneaky cookies here and there or extra rice. But I would say probably a good 12 weeks that were pretty strict, and then it gets more strict at 8, and then the last 6 have been pretty rigorous.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of how I do it.
So how are you feeling now with the diet? Is it driving you nuts, or are you handling it pretty good? No.
I'm good. My body's tired physically.
Yeah.
But I always say I'm tired, but I'm not drained.
Right.
Like I'm not mentally taxed. Physically, it's like to think about going to the bathroom or going upstairs. My legs right now are like, stop. But other than that, I feel healthy.
Yeah.
No, I feel
strong.
I feel good. I'm not dying at all.
Right. So what are your thoughts with the Olympia now? You got 4th last year, right? Which was a really, really good placing.
Yeah.
And so how do you feel? I mean, are you thinking about other people, or are you just like, I'm just going to go do the best I can, and you're not really thinking about, Juliana or anybody else who was ahead of you last year?
No, I don't really think about them because to me that thoughts are energy, and I don't believe that they deserve my energy right now because it deserves to be on me. That's what I'm working for.
Right.
And I find that when I do focus on other people, it brings me down. As far as like, it creates doubt and it creates fear. So actually we're doing a secret angel project for all the girls, where it's kind of like Secret Santa. You have a little person that you buy a gift for. It's really cute. I have to go shopping for that today, but, I didn't even want to look at the list, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I know who's competing. I know who's going to be good. But it doesn't matter. Like me looking at the list for the Secret Angel Project was literally the first time I looked at any list this year. I kind of cringed when I did it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what anybody looks like. I don't follow anybody on Instagram, and it's not because I don't like them.
Yeah.
It's just because right now I don't want to put my thoughts through that.
Okay. Yeah.
So it keeps me like chill.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. Some people have different viewpoints on that. Some, like, I'm going to get this person, I'm going to get that person, and others are like, I really don't care. I'm just going to focus on myself.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what always creates the best practice. And I feel like that's almost like I don't do cardio to beat the other girls.
Yeah.
I don't do cardio thinking I'm going to beat Julie, I'm going to beat Autumn, I'm going to beat these people, because that's just negative.
Yeah.
That I feel like that's just a negative mindset. It's kind of a dark side way to look at it. So I really just focus on my own intensity, my own work ethic, and make sure it's all or none.
Yeah. Now, how about your posing? I've told you this before in the past. I really love your posing routines. They have a lot of energy, a lot of creativity, and you look like you're really having fun up there. What do you have planned for that?
Well, okay, I don't want to tell anybody yet.
No, I know.
I think I already kind of said on YouTube that part of it's going to be pink, just like fire.
Okay.
And that's a really high energy song, and I really like that one because it's like she says, I'm gonna cry. She says, if I could light the world up for just one day.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just kind of about a magical charade, and no one can be just like her anyway.
Yeah.
Those are the lyrics that really hit home for me, and that really make me have fun.
Yeah.
We're going to be on world stage.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I noticed that too about your routines, Danny. Your lyrics for your songs, they're not just songs you may like. I mean, I think your lyrics have meaning, and it seems like it has meaning in your routines,
Yeah, they do. The way I pick a posing song is by the feeling first. I'll hear a song on the radio and it'll just hit me.
Yeah.
Or I'll find it through Spotify or something, and it'll just hit me a certain way, and I'm like, man, I think that's it. And it'll kind of go into like the back, and then I'll hear it, and then as the emotional part of prep starts to pick up, I'll play the song, and some like for like the Celine Dion one I did for Arnold, that song like carried me through some cardio sessions because it was called The Power of the Dream.
Right.
And it was. Yeah, and then last year was Fight Song. I don't know. Yeah, you're totally right. Everything has to have a meaning. Like literally, everything has a meaning.
Now, how do you like the Thursday night when they have to meet the Olympians? Because you have a huge fan base, and I know you love your fans. So how is that night for you when you have to when you go to that thing where everybody's there and you get to meet your fans?
I am like so freaking pumped about that. I have another hoodie.
Uh-huh.
I have a white one. Everyone's going to sign it.
Oh, yeah, like last year. I remember, yeah.
Yeah, we started that last year, and we actually brought one to the Arnold, too, and at the expo, everyone signed it there. So I'm really excited. That's, like, my favorite part, because I get to interact with everybody, and it's, like, I get to, like, the way that I live and the way that I do my prep, I'm at home all the time. So, like, I'm either at the gym or I'm cooking. So, and it's really, really... It's inspiring and it's motivating to see all the people that care so much to actually want to come up and meet me and like take pictures with me, and like I'm just as blown away as they are. I don't know if they know, but like I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen this time because I know that it's grown since last year.
Yeah, it's going to be a big event this year for sure.
I may need to get some white sweatpants.
Right. Bring some extra ones. So are you on stage Friday or Saturday?
Friday morning at 10:30 and then Saturday morning at 10:30.
Oh, okay. It's a 2-day event then for you guys too. Yeah. Okay. Well, that'd be cool then, because then Thursday you have the meeting all the fans, and then you go right to Friday. So that'll pump you up, I think.
Yeah, totally. And then on Saturday, I don't know what the plans are for Friday after prejudging, as far as like me being at Primeval Labs, my supplement sponsor's booth, just because AJ might want me to go back and lay down and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll either be, I would definitely be there Saturday after finals, because then we can just have fun.
Yeah.
That's my plan to do that after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you now, Danny?
I'm 26.
26. Okay, so you're still young. You got a lot left ahead of you.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. But that's not gonna slow me down.
No, you're reaching your prime right now. You're reaching your peak.
Yeah, and people say like it's not a marathon, it's a sprint. I'm like, I am sprinting all the way. I don't know. It is a sprint.
You're sprinting every year.
Every time. Yes, that's the goal every day is not just a little gallop better. I want it to be a
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go because I know you're really busy and you got a lot to do, and you're leaving tomorrow. So I thank you for taking a few minutes to talk to us, and we wish you the best of luck. And I know you're going to represent Florida well again, and you're going to do awesome. Yeah,
I'm going to bring some Orlando magic to Vegas.
All right. All right, Danny. Well, best of luck. We'll be watching you from Florida, and we hope you do really well. We're going to wish for you the best for you.
Thank you so much, and thanks for this opportunity of doing this interview with you. And it was nice to see you and talk to you again.
Yeah, nice to see you. All right, Danny. Take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, welcome back to the Florida Physique Report again, and my last guest for this week, also going to the Olympia, leaving tomorrow morning, is Heather Grace, who's competing in the women's physique. How you doing, Heather?
I am well, thank you. How are you?
Good. So last weekend you were in the Phoenix show. Was it called the Phoenix Rising Sun? Rising Strength?
Rising Phoenix, yeah.
Rising Phoenix, okay.
Called the Phoenix Pro. I couldn't figure out what to hashtag.
Right. And congratulations, you took second place.
Thank you. It was a fun show.
Yeah. So you're having a good year, huh? You won the mile high, and you took second at the Puerto Rico, and now you're on to the Olympia.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Like, do fairly well. So I was a little disappointed in Puerto Rico, a little disappointed last week, but they're all learning experiences, and
Yeah.
I definitely had some hiccups last week that I'll be able to capitalize upon this week. So I'm really glad that I did that show.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us about that show, because we heard a lot going into it. You know, they said the promoters, Wings of Strength, really spent a lot of money, and they wanted to do a really big show for the women. So how did they all go? What was your experience
Well,
with
it
it?
was really well done. They treated us great. It's definitely a show I would do again. I like being in Phoenix. It's just easy coming from Denver. It was held in a casino.
Okay.
The venue was attached, obviously, to the casino.
Yeah.
It was very centralized. It was very easy. It was a good experience. I would definitely recommend it, and I would do it again. And the Wings of Strength people and the Tim Garner folks they're the best. Like,
Yeah.
everything is just seamless. Everybody's really relaxed. Everybody's really supportive.
Yeah.
It's always a really good group of people with great energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Tim does some really great job with all of his shows,
Yeah.
So they had women's bodybuilding. They obviously had women's physique. What else did they have there?
All the female events. So
Oh, okay.
fitness, bikini.
Okay.
It was kind of different, like not competing with the guys, but it was cool. The energy was awesome.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I would think it would be. I'm sure all the women got together, and it was their contest, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
So did you feel your condition at that show was better than any other show this year?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. That was
Really?
my best
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
So you got to be feeling good going into the Olympia then, huh? You got 11th last year, but you got to be feeling good now going in after a strong second place finish last weekend.
Yeah, I do feel good. Not so much about the second place finish.
Yeah.
I feel good about what I'm bringing to the stage. So,
Right.
and like having made a few boo-boos on stage that I'll be able to hopefully work out this week, I think will make a big difference.
Yeah. Right.
So I feel good about this show, definitely.
So Heather, tell us a little bit about your career. I know you've been in pro women's physique since 2014. You told me, but before that, were you in figure? Okay.
Yep, I earned my pro card in 2011 at the Junior USA's.
Okay.
I made an attempt at figure for a while, and I was just one of those that never really did very well. It was always, coming fuller, too lean, which is funny because the look then was definitely not very lean.
Yeah.
My best placing, I spent 5 days eating ice cream and cookies prior to the show.
Really?
It was not fun, and I just didn't feel good about it. So with the advent of women's physique, it took me a while to make the decision, but once I did, I was all in and just so excited, and I still am just very grateful.
Yeah. I always ask women who went from figure to women's physique about the posing, because I know that's a big difference with the two divisions. So do you like doing the posing aspect of it?
I'm super artsy-fartsy, so I love to be aesthetic and fun on stage. I like performing. I mean, that's something I've always loved to do.
So, Heather, how long of a preparation period was it for you? Were you been dieting all year? Because, I mean, you were doing shows earlier in the year. You did the Puerto Rico show and the Mile High. So how long have you been dieting? Has it been a break, or has it just been straight through?
Well, dieting, that term is always funny for me. I never really deviate that far. I like to kind of keep it tight year-round. Add clean size in my off-season, which I think I did. So I'm always meticulous about what I eat.
Okay.
And then, we start to generally drop and add cardio like 8 weeks out.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how many Olympias have you done, Heather?
This is my third.
Third one? Okay. And what are your feelings going into it this year?
Good. Really good. Was kind of disappointed last year. But I think the mindset now. I want to go in and have time. I'm also excited. I know that what I'm going to present is going to be my best, and I feel good about it. So it's fun. It's just a lot of fun to be able to compete with so many of your friends, the best of the best, and part of the hype. And it's such an honor, really, to stage. And sometimes it's easy to lose perspective and get lost in that. And I think I'm just in a better place mentally right now.
Yeah, I would imagine it would probably take one or two times doing the Olympia before you're really used to that, right? Because it is such a big show, and there's so much going on, and there's so many people there. It's got to be overwhelming.
Right. Yeah. So I think hopefully I've gotten it down by now.
Yeah, with your third one. So, what are you feeling going into this one? Do you have any goals for yourself, or are you just going to try and do the best you can? I mean, do you want to try and make the top 6?
No, I definitely want to make the top 6 for sure.
Okay.
If I don't, I'll probably be disappointed. But having said that, I also know that I'm going to bring the best me that anyone has ever seen. So
right.
I do feel good about that.
Yeah.
And it's weird. Like, I think we all have goals, and we all have these expectations in our mind. It's almost like verbally to come out with it. It's almost like you feel like you're jinxing yourself, But I'm pretty sure most of us have those expectations. I can't imagine we'd be successful if we didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I know you're with Divine Nutrition. Tell us a little bit about that. We've talked to Sydney Gillen and a few of the others, Cassandra Carpenter, who's also with the product, or also with the company, I should say. And tell us what your favorite products are with them, and how your experience has been with them.
I mean, quality. The protein, it's top notch. It's highest grade combined. There's no fillers. It's no artificial sweeteners. It's just and for whatever reason, I have a station with Blue. I have no flavor, but it doesn't upset your tummy. I have new clients that typically say I've never heard any issues with them. So it's just great.
Yeah.
Supports us, and I think that's important too. As an athlete, I want to work with a company that understands the plight of the athlete and is willing to, support us in addition to create a great product. And I think it's a great job with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Lou's a great guy, and you're right. I think that there is so much involved with competing, and to have someone sponsor you who understands all the demands of competing with the dieting and the stress of the competition is really a big deal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, but getting back to my favorites, the peanut butter banana pound cake. It is so good. And all of the pound cake flavors are really, really awesome. Actually, not a strawberry girl, but strawberry, for whatever reason, if you blend a strawberry with cold water, it's like having a strawberry shake. It's great.
Right. Yeah, Sydney Gillen said the same thing. She said the peanut butter pound cake was amazing.
Oh, especially, I'll mix it with sweet potatoes. It's just insane.
Oh, really? Okay. All right, Heather. Well, I want to wish you the best of luck going into the Olympia this weekend. I know you got an early flight tomorrow, and we've been trying to catch up with you for a few days, but with you competing last weekend, it's been hectic. So I thank you very much for calling in and having a short interview with us. It was great to finally meet you.
Thank you for the opportunity, and it's been a pleasure meeting you as well.
Yeah. All right, well, we wish you the best of luck this weekend. We'll be watching from Florida, and we hope you do the best that you can. I hope you make that top 6.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it.
All right, Heather. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, that's it for another edition of the Florida Physique Report. I want to thank my 3 guests, Alejandro Campanero, Danny Reardon, and Grace Rivera, for joining us this week. I know they were all really busy getting ready for the Olympia, so I appreciate them taking the time out to join us for an interview. We will be back next week with the results of the big Olympia weekend and let you know how all the Florida athletes did Got a lot of Florida athletes competing, including Dexter Jackson, who's going for another Olympia win, and he's got a really good shot. Also, Darum Charles would be competing in the first ever Classic Physique Olympia, and he's hoping to do well. So we've got a lot of competitors from the bikini and the figure divisions competing as well. And, of course, women's physique. Danny Reardon's competing. So we'll give you all the results of what happened next week on the Florida Physique Report. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you then.